but I'm trying my best. I just took away my hair extension that I used to spend thousands and thousands of dollars.
Baby,
and embrace my natural hair that I hated.
I love that Jasmine's version of trying her best is that she's stopped buying ridiculously expensive hair extensions with Gino's money. But we can't judge Jasmine too harshly. For the first time, she's actually opening up. She's actually being honest. And it turns out her butt implants weren't the only thing that she's kept secret.
Because I struggle with alopecia. I've been more than 15 years wearing wigs and hair extensions, and I'm very insecure about my hair.
Sadly, as we're about to find out, Jasmine's hair condition and her deep insecurity is just the tip of the iceberg. But before we get into that, let's rewind to the start. So we left the pair in the last episode as Gino was coming clean about quitting his job, and Jasmine revealed she'd spent her wedding dress budget on butt implants. Now, the pair both claim that they did what they did for the other, but in reality, we all know both acted incredibly selfishly.
He has been giving me the cold treatment. I know that he's mad, he's disappointed because he told me that I am selfish.
Now, Jasmine's acting very humbly this morning because she knows she f***ed up. Not only that, but she also knows she's sitting on a much bigger secret than she actually revealed to Gino. But maybe she's right to hold her cards this close to her chest, because as Gino actively ignores Jasmine and goes about his day, it's obvious he's already struggling with the butt implant situation.
I sent her $4,000 to buy a wedding dress, and she comes back and tells me she got butt implants. To me, she's like thinking of herself, and the wedding doesn't matter to her.
In Gino's opinion, Jasmine acted entirely selfishly. She blew all this money on surgery to feel good about herself, but at the cost of their wedding. But what he's not seeing is that Jasmine didn't have all the factors. Like, what I mean by that is she wasn't aware of their financial situation. Why? Because of Gino's own lie. She didn't know that he'd quit his job. That's a lie that when we join her on a call with her sister, we can see she's really freaking out about.
Y los niños ya te extrañan porque están preguntando por ti, ya extrañan las videollamadas, el que, ay, que el tía, vamos, que tía viene hoy, que todo eso.
Now, I don't want to jump to conclusions, but from what's said, it sounds like Jasmine has been in America for approaching a week and has yet to have a video call with her young kids. I don't know if she's had any other kind of contact, like a normal phone call for example, but it's no wonder that her kids are missing their mum. But let's not forget that Jasmine claims she's moved to America with her kids in mind. Only now, without Gino in employment, her plan to bring them over is in jeopardy.
I'm freaking out because I might not be able to bring my kids to the United States because I am not working, so I cannot be the sponsor for my kids. It needs to be Gino.
Now, before we move on, can we just take a minute to appreciate Gino's hat collection that's hanging behind the door? What a collection this man has. But seriously, with Gino now out of employment, his ability to sponsor her kids is now up in the air. So now we're seeing firsthand that even though Gino claimed he quit his job for Jasmine, in reality, the impact of his decision might have had a massive negative effect on her.
Dejó su trabajo y para pasar más tiempo conmigo, que la boda, que estamos cortos de dinero.
It's ironic that Gino complained about how Jasmine's actions made it seem like she didn't care about the wedding, when he's just done the same thing himself. Like, what was he thinking as the sole breadwinner to quit his job 3 months before their wedding? But while Jasmine is understandably frustrated, it's notable that she isn't allowing herself to blow up, because she knows she's also in the wrong too.
Pero ¿qué tenía Gino en la cabeza cuando...
Pero escúchame, niña, siendo justos, yo tampoco soy tan inocente.
Now, Jasmine goes on to share with her sister that Gino still doesn't know that on top of the $4,000 that he sent her, and in addition to her own savings, the rest of the funds for the surgery were borrowed from her ex Dane. He lent her a total of $2,000 to be precise. It's just mind-blowing to me that Jasmine, even after all the drama from the last season, still chose to turn to her ex, despite knowing just how much that would hurt Gino.
One of the things that I feel the most guilty about is me accepting $2,000 from my ex, Dan, as a loan that then became a gift to get my butt implant.
From loan to gift. That doesn't sound entirely platonic, does it? Who just gives $2,000 to an ex like that? Especially an ex that's just dragged him through the mud, got him embroiled in all this drama. Like, is he looking to be on a reality TV show himself? Like, if not, then this could actually do harm to his reputation, to his business. Why get embroiled in all of this? Well, whatever the truth, one thing is clear. This whole Dane issue isn't going anywhere anytime soon, and Jasmine's continued relationship with him makes her, hands down, one of the most hypocritical and disrespectful people we've ever seen on this show.
Gino learned that I still have a friendship with Dan. He completely disagreed with it and asked me to cut it because he sees him as competition.
Yeah, so Gino's expressed multiple times that he's uncomfortable with their relationship. He's been crystal clear that he wants her to stop hanging around with her ex. So what does Jasmine do instead? She not only continues this so-called friendship with Dane, but she goes one step further and finds herself indebted to him. She's borrowed a lot of money just so that she can get surgery behind her fiancé's back. Yeah, it doesn't take a psychic to realise that all hell is gonna break loose when Gino finds out.
Tienes que hablar seriamente con Gino. Trata de calmarte. Trata de hacer de esto no una guerra.
I will eventually tell Gino, but not now.
I can't really understand why Jasmine thinks that waiting is the right thing to do. Surely just ripping off the band-aid will get it over and done with. Surely that's the best solution here. Like, the way she's chosen to handle this will make Gino mad, as he is right now, but rather than allowing him to stew on it and then get over it, she's only going to get him even angrier at a later point. Surely it's best to just give him all the facts right now. Let him just deal with it, then move on. But no, she's chosen to drag this out. And right now, without knowing all the facts, Gino is really annoyed.
For the last year and a half, I've been busting my ass to save money to buy a dress, and she spends it on butt implants for herself.
But Jasmine's claimed that those butt implants were for Gino. She told us that Gino loved her butt so much that after she lost weight for the wedding, she was worried he wouldn't like her new, less curvy butt. So her logic was to plump it back up, supposedly for him.
And one of the few things that Gino compliments me is like, oh my gosh, your fat ass, I love it. And I was like, oh my gosh, what am I gonna do? It's gone. So I got butt implants.
The truth is, Jasmine's been lying to herself for long enough. This isn't the first time we've seen her go under the knife, have surgery, claim it's for Gino's benefit, only for the whole thing to actually have an adverse consequence on Gino. Gino said repeatedly over and over again that he doesn't need Jasmine to have cosmetic surgery. He thinks she's beautiful as she is. So when is Jasmine just gonna admit the real reason why she got these implants? She got them for herself, in exactly the same way that Gino quit his job for himself.
If you have told me this, like you quit your job, that we were under a very tight budget, I promise I would never spend this money.
I actually think that Jasmine's being genuine here for a change. I believe her when she says that she wouldn't have spent the money. But that being said, do I believe that she wouldn't have just gone to Dane and asked him for the full amount? Like, of course she would have. We know her well enough by now to know that if Jasmine wants implants, Jasmine's gonna get implants. So the real question here is, what's driving this constant need for surgery? Why does she not feel good enough as she is?
I don't see myself the way you see me. I have always dealt with this problem. Like, I am very insecure when it comes to my body. I'm sorry for being like this.
Look, I guess it adds up that Jasmine, who feels insecure in her relationship, also feels insecure in other areas of her life. Those insecurities aren't just confined neatly to one specific area. She has massive insecurities about her body, and that is sad to hear. It just brings us back round to all this weight that she lost for the wedding. Her vegan lifestyle, her exercise routine. She paints it as all being really healthy, when in reality, it's not. It's coming from a deeply unhealthy place.
I work so hard at the gym. I'm eating healthy all the time. The reflection that I see in the mirror doesn't match the reality.
What Jasmine's talking about here sounds like a very serious issue. It sounds like body dysmorphia. It sounds like the sort of thing she might need professional help with. Perhaps if, rather than spending yet more money she doesn't have to go under the knife, she instead spent it on therapy, maybe everyone would be happier. But as Gino tries his best to comfort Jasmine, she begins to fall apart.
But I'm trying my best. I just took away my hair extension that I used to spend thousands and thousands of dollars.
Baby,
and embrace my natural hair that I hated.
This is a ridiculous thing to say from Jasmine. Like giving up obscenely expensive hair extensions to embrace her own natural hair shouldn't be seen as a sacrifice. But it's becoming more and more obvious the true extent to which Jasmine is suffering from self-esteem issues. So her decision to give up her hair extensions feels like a really big deal for her. In fact, it actually means a whole lot more when we consider her next confession.
Because I struggle with alopecia. I've been more than 15 years wearing wigs and hair extensions, and I'm very insecure about my hair.
Oh, Jasmine. She's had everyone judging her for her hair extension choices, when all the while she's been sitting on this. Now, just to be clear, it is still her choice to go out and get $3,000 plus hair extensions and make Gino pay for them. But once again, at least now her decisions make just a little bit more sense. Not just to us, but to Gino too.
You're beautiful the way you are. Don't you see? I knew that Jasmine had some insecurities, but I don't know, maybe she struggles with it more than I know.
It's crazy that at this point, these two have been together for years, but they really don't know each other at all. How could Gino be unaware about the depths of Jasmine's insecurity? Why would Jasmine think that Gino would want her to have a fake butt? And why on earth would Gino think that Jasmine would want him to be unemployed? If their instincts about each other are just so off, well, the very least they should do is be honest with each other.
We just have to, stop hiding things from each other. It would prevent a lot of pain, suffering.
Guys, let me just break it down for you. It's a simple 4-step formula. Step 1, stop lying to each other. Step 2, find a professional. Go and seek help. Find someone who can help you through these issues that you face. And step 3, Gino, please try and get your job back, because you're gonna need all the money you can get. And then, maybe then, you can move on to step 4, which is to get married. But with all these steps to work through and less than 90 days with which to do it, it's a shame that these two are still stuck on step 1. They're still lying to each other.
I agree that honesty is super important if we really want to make this relationship work. And that means that I will eventually have to come clean, but now is not the time.
Look, there's never gonna be a good time for Jasmine to break this news to Gino, but that's the consequence of doing something behind your fiancé's back. That's something she's gonna have to face. The longer she leaves it, the harder it will become, and the closer it gets to their wedding day, the more this might actually derail the entire wedding.